Welcome to the new podcast presented by Crane Racing LLC called the Bench Racing Podcast. It contains me, myself, Derek Crane, the host, my co-host, Brandon Bestis Mensch Horswell, and every week we will have a special guest ranging from Lightning Sprint to Wisconsin Wingless to Street Stock to Bandit to Superfan to just any kind. If you're into racing, we want to sit here, drink beer, drink soda, and talk racing. If you want to tune in and interact with us, check us out on Crane Racing LLC on Facebook. The show is recorded Mondays at 7 p.m. Central, live on Facebook. Comment, interact with us. You can be a part of the show. We'd love to have you. And thank you so much for tuning in on Spotify. Don't forget to follow Crane Racing on all your social media platforms, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, the TikTok, and also on Spotify for all of your racing content needs. Thank you so much, and we'll see you live. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of the Bench Racing Podcast. Peace out, Girl Scout.
Welcome to the circus.
It's always awkward when there's like no talking, so I'll just kind of talk a little bit, a little field filler right now. Awesome! Well, we are live here on the Bench Racing Podcast with myself, the host, Derek Crane. Our special guest today is Bryce Andrews. Thank you, Bryce, for being here.
Yeah, of course.
And we are a little low on car count because Brandon couldn't make it. He's having some car issues, so it'll get it all worked out, but just can't make it tonight. Car issues suck, right?
Terrible.
What's worse, car issues or race car issues?
Car issues.
Yeah, they are.
There's a cake on the racetrack.
Yes. Thank you guys so much for tuning in here. We really appreciate it. If you have any comments, please comment away. And also, we like to see where you guys are tuning in from because that's pretty dope. I know we have Karen Porter. She tunes in from Ocala, Florida. And if she does not tune in, it's going to be a little off. Show's going to be a little bit off. Awesome. So really quickly, we're just going to go into some priority information. And I do the priority stuff first because if we get the show rolling, I'll forget. And then the show's over. And then I'm like, oh, I was supposed to talk about that. So first things first, there's going to be a number change. I'm saying it right now. Next year, we will be number 59. It is my favorite number. You weren't there because you were selfish and you went to Indiana to race.
Nope.
And did not support Colin. Well, you did support him, just not with your physical presence. Basically, they had a 50-50, and Nathan took my number for the raffle because it was 1 through 100. And then I was like, well, if he wants to play that game, I'll guess his number, which he took already too.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and then he's like, well, I'll give you back 19. And I was like, well, no, because if I win that, then you're gonna be, we got to split it because that was my number. So 59 was still open, and that's my favorite number. It's been my favorite number for a while now, so I picked it, and we actually won with the raffle. So before that, I was just Jessica Sivio was like, well, what happens if you win? I was like, well, I'll change my number to 59. It's good luck.
Did you ever think about 59 before doing 19, or was it just...
I don't know. It's just like, no. 19 was because I wanted to be 91.
And then...
It would, yeah. But Dad wouldn't let me be my own. He's like, be your own man. So he's just like, how about inverting it, which is then my mom's favorite number. So we're gonna be changing numbers. Hopefully it's good luck here. But yeah, so it's kind of funny, which is good. We didn't get any numbers yet for next year. I mean, it's kind of weird talking about next year, and it's been 2 weeks over race season, but
it's still going on.
Yeah, race season. yeah. In the country, there's always race season. What's up, Joseph? Thank you so much for tuning in. The last thing I want to get out of the way, so I don't forget, is we got some stickers now. They're so cool. I know it's kind of hard to see. Yeah, you got. Oh yeah.
Let's go right down the old pickup truck.
Heck yeah! Let me know how well that works out too, because this is
Ryan Marshall's on.
Yeah.
There. I'm just
because this is beta. Like I hope it should be really good quality, but I'm not sure about how outdoorsy it would be. So let me know.
Go through a car wash.
Yeah. So we have a new partner. I don't know if you guys saw. We have Paulman Auto Sales for next year, which is I'm so happy to be representing them next season. But they asked for their family festival that they have for their employees if we could bring the car out. So we brought the car out, and I was just trialing something to see hero cards versus stickers. I'm just saying this. Stickers won. We left with we came with 250 and we left with 70. And only 2 hero cards were taken. So stickers are the way to go. So we do have stickers. We do have some left over.
Get yours now.
I'll bring them to the IRA banquet, which I did not do the research on that. But the IRA banquet, I believe, is December 3rd.
Oh, it is.
Is it? Oh, wow. We are both really off right now. I'm sure this clicking is really good for the mic. I'm so sorry, guys. Yes, December 2nd. December 2nd. So, oh, wow, we got Ian Steer. First time watching the show. Thank you, Ian. We appreciate it. And he just tunes in right after I say how I'm changing my number. So, 19 is still a really great number. All right. And these stickers are brought to you by Ashley Bree Photography. Forgot to mention that. Ashley Bree Photography helped out with that. She's the best. She is the best. Awesome. So since we're talking about numbers here, Bryce, why'd you pick number 17?
Kind of a long story, but...
yeah, a long time.
So my dad used to race Supercross and everything else, and so his number was 17.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of started out with it, picking from it, but my first number was 29 because of my car owner, Randy, you may know. And then...
Stanford.
Yep. So... that kind of ended its own way. Me and Dad were like, hey, let's just do this ourselves instead of just answering from people, even though my dad already owned everything. It was just nice to just me and him, everything else. So then we started realizing getting numbers, get everything to me and him.
Yeah.
So we were scrolling through a bunch of my dad's old things and trophies. I saw 17. I was like, that's what I want. And he goes, okay, cool. And then when I realized it came to my aunt, who sponsors the car and everything, her and everything else, that her kids that play soccer, their numbers are 17, and their lucky numbers, their birthdays.
Nice.
So everything just kind of fell into place where it was like, yeah, that's the number.
Okay. Yeah, we played the sponsorship game last week, and your name came up, and the only one, well, Don's, I know Don's is on the car, but the only other one that came up was your aunt's place. That's the injection place, right?
Yep.
Yes, it is because it's the needle. It's just so eye-catching, like, why is there a needle on a car? It's very cool. It's very cool.
Yeah.
Are you going to change your number in the future, or is that going to probably be it unless you drive for someone?
Unless I drive for somebody else, that'd be the number to stick.
Okay. Nice. So I jokingly refer to Bryce as Crash Bash. We're going to get into that a little bit later in the show. So you don't have another nickname, though? No? Okay, well...
At least none that I want.
Yeah. Hopefully this isn't the Zacky Poo for you, where it just sticks. But yeah, that's kind of what I refer to you as at the track, of course. Is there a nickname that, off the top of your head, you'd be like, that'd be kind of cool if I was called...
Not really.
No? So you're more of the guy that is like, the nickname has to be given to you. You can't make your own nickname up?
Yeah.
100%. Yes. So you did talk about a little bit of your racing history with your number. So you grew up motocross racing.
Grew up around it. Never really took it. I've driven motorcycles, dirt bikes, went racing with it, but never did it as like a points ordeal. It was more or less, hey, we got a weekend of me and my dad were bored. Let's take the motorcycles out and go have fun and do things like that.
Yeah. Nice. So you're just more bashing then?
Yeah.
Okay. You didn't do any freestyle stuff?
No.
You're not that crazy.
Nope.
Bryce, don't let Derek hold you down. From Ryan Zelski. Oh man,
that's funny.
He is funny. I like Ryan a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's
fun to race with.
Yeah, I'm sure he doesn't think the same way about me, right? Not right now, because that was the one thing that
slider.
Yeah, the ghost slider when he turned real. So one thing I respect about Zelski was when I walked up, I'm like, that wasn't on purpose or intentional. He's like, I don't hate you, but I don't like you right now, and I'm like, That's very fair. All right. I just want to make sure that you knew that I didn't do it on purpose. And so, yeah. And don't take in regards to what other people were saying, because that was funny too. All right, cool. So we're going to get into topic 1 here. Presented by Next Gen Pumps, veteran-owned, American-made, warranty like no other, and partners of Bryce Andrews and Derek Crane. So that's really, really cool. We're teammates in a way.
Kind of.
Yeah. And, yeah, no, you did everything to help me out this year, so thank you. I appreciate that. We're talking about Indiana versus Wisconsin tracks, what we like about both, what we don't like about both. So, Bryce, what would you say the main difference between running at Indiana tracks versus Wisconsin tracks?
People.
People. What kind of people?
Just people in general, just the whole attitude of just the way racing is, or just the way people contact you in ways, good, bad. It's a totally different environment.
Yes.
The racing style, just the way people act and the way they drive.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you think... Tell Bryce to talk up. He's hard to hear.
Oh.
Yeah. I was kind of thinking that a little bit. I'm like, oh, you're a little soft, which is fine. I can move the mic a little closer so you don't have to, hurt the voice cords there. Yeah, so the contact, just the way everyone races and stuff like that. Would you say the staff is a little bit different, or?
Yeah.
Okay. In what ways?
I don't know.
You don't know? But yes. All right, yeah, so I would say that, like, the people's a big part of it.
So, like Paragon, when we went there 2 weeks ago, like, I went to go turn my transponder in and go get the pay from it. Like, I ended up talking to the lady that, as I was signing, where I transferred and everything else, she was like, oh, where are you from? I haven't heard of you or seen you here ever, really, she goes. And I was like, oh, no, we came all the way from Wisconsin. And she was like, oh, no way, that's cool. I said, I got buddies that come down here, too. I said, Derek Crane. She didn't know who you are.
Yeah, I'm a nobody. I'm a nobody.
But, she was actually, like, very, like, cool about it and everything else, and the way she was going about it. And we ended up walking away with 2 free T-shirts from it, one for me and my dad for making the travel and everything else, which was very cool of her.
Yeah, it is nice.
Else, so definitely worth the trip going back down again.
Yeah, you got, what, $40-$50 in merch?
Yeah.
And then you got a little extra cash, too, didn't you?
Yep. She felt bad that we drove all that way, and she was like, well, she threw in a little bit more money in there. She was like, hopefully, this will help. And she goes, I'd love to see you guys bring more friends from Wisconsin there and everything else. I was like, I'll definitely try my best.
Yeah. I'm going to say that I feel that Indiana is more inclusive, and Wisconsin... They're friendly people, but I'm just saying, like, classes and stuff, I feel like they're a little bit more exclusive because there's so many rules, which is fine. I know rules keep the cost down and all that stuff, but where else can you run a 604 wingless against another 604 wingless car? Really nowhere. So I feel like we kind of almost isolate ourselves, which it amazes me that the IRA Wisconsin Wingless had. A couple years ago, they were pushing like 40 cars a night, and even now it's a lower car count, but they're still above 30. So that's cool, but I just feel like mentally too, it's different. Like down in Indiana, you have no idea who's gonna show up.
No.
You can show up to a track, and you're like, I know Baloo's gonna be here, I know T-Maz is gonna be here, I know those guys.
Here comes Matt Westfall.
Yeah, right, Matt Westfall, and then you're like, wait. They're not here. They went to another track, and you're like, oh, I actually have a shot. Or you go to a track thinking you're going to have a shot, and then those guys roll up. But, I mean, that just makes the racing better. I mean, to kind of, like, have it balanced out to Wisconsin or tracks, that would be, like, the IRA's there, and for whatever reason, Brad Sweet shows up, or Donnie Schatz shows up to the track on a IRA night. So that's kind of like the mentality of it. It feels a little bit different because you're not really checking who's here. You're just like, well, whoever shows up, shows up. What about track conditions?
I mean, lately, I mean, just for the 2 weekends that I've been there, I've been there, throughout the year. But just this past weekends, I've noticed that tracks are completely different. Like, we went to Brownstown last week, and I mean, that track slicked out and everything else. So it was very different to race on, especially for me, who's still learning how to, race.
Yeah. Yeah, for fans that don't know, how long have you been actually racing a sprint car?
3 years.
3 years, yeah. So. Yeah. That's pretty good. Pretty good. Not bad for the track record holder to be only racing 3 years. Triggered. Someone, probably. I don't know. But, okay, what about... So Brownstown slicked off a little bit, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah, by the heat race, it looked like it was dry.
I showed you the picture of it, yeah.
Yeah. What about Lincoln Park? You've gone to
Lincoln Park. That is my beyond favorite track. I mean, that track, it's a sprint car track.
Yeah.
I mean, it stays tacked up. I mean, for beginning, we ran the crate motor there just because it was just what we had in the moment in time. I mean, I would like to say we were still competitive. I mean, we were just riding around the bottom, but we were just holding our own and maintaining ourselves. I mean, we would get a couple of those 410 guys that would blow the corner and couldn't hold, and that's when we would be able to pass. But now with the new motor and everything else, it seems like we can
move around a little bit better. Yeah. What's up, Sean Sticks? Thank you for tuning in. Joseph commented, Rico showed up to Dodge County a couple years ago. That's true.
And he's been to Wilmot a couple times during IRA shows. And
yes. So it would be like that, but like almost every night you'd have a huge name coming in. What do you think the fans are like? The difference between Indiana and Wisconsin? We're just knocking everything down here, breaking everything down.
Like we went down to Brownstown this past weekend, and we had a couple of guys stop at our trailer there, and this was their first sprint car race of the year there that they had. So a lot of people were checking out the sprint cars and everything else, and so we had our hero cars there, and those were going like hotcakes.
Yeah,
just one after another. But we talked to a lot of people. I mean, they were amazed of these things. I mean, some of them haven't even seen a sprint car, which was weird. I was like, "You're from Indiana, never seen a sprint car?"
Yes. And that's because of where Brownstown's located on the map. It's pretty far south. Not as far south as Hopstock, but yeah.
So it was cool. Everybody was like awesome about it. So a lot of people were digging our hero cards. I can't believe not many people actually have them down there, which I thought was weird. But I mean, they were definitely looking at the car. They were amazed that, hey, open wheel a car, and looking at the stagger and looking at, hey, you only run 2 brakes,
Yeah.
And a lot of people were amazed from it, and they were looking at the inboard shock adjusters that are on the car.
Did you run them? All 4?
No, just
you wussed out.
They were looking at that. They got a kick out of that. They were like, wow, that's cool. That's man, I was like, it's a lot of work to pull a tear off, and then it's like you're trying to adjust a shock and do this. It was a lot of work for me trying to do it that? And everything else. Yeah.
Did you do it on the fly?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I had to figure out how to do it, pull a tear off, and it's like throw a handful in there and working in the corner a little bit.
You run them on the fronts?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people. Well, that's. I mean, I would love to see the Wisconsin Wingless go to a 4, in-car shock adjustment.
They're not that expensive. I feel like. I mean, you already got the money into the car, so it's.
I mean, the argument is that it's going to add cost.
But you're already so far. My opinion, you're already so far into having the crate car that what's the other cost on top of it.
Exactly, and they said that it's going to be an added cost because the drivers on a lower budget, let's just say, will not put them in. However, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of those drivers still had wing rams in for the 604 wing.
Yeah.
So I would love to see them. I'm not lobbying, but I am for it.
After this past week, I'm definitely for it.
Yeah, like it does take a little stress off of you or your shock guy because in the 410 down in Indiana, like that's the last thing I can do that, when they're pushing me out on the track or while we're waiting for everyone to fire, like I can go, oh yeah, and gas it up just a little bit, like, yeah, it's a little too much or that's not enough. I do think that would actually make the racing even better, in my opinion.
I would agree too.
I think it would be a learning curve though, where it would kind of like taper and kind of dip a little bit until inevitably the fast guys are going to figure it out. Yeah, like how far you can go and that stuff. Because like you at Plymouth, you had that thing set up way wrong. It'd been nice to have that. Was terrible. Dude, I almost butt packed you like 2 times when I caught you, and I was like, "Whoa, bro, where are you going?"
That's what I said. It'd been nice to have a shock. Like,
yeah.
Way tighten this car.
Tighten the left front shock back down and go. So all right, so yeah, I think the fans, especially when they find out that you're not an outer towner, but you're like an outer state.
They love that.
They love it, and they come down, and it is the equivalent to Angel Park. Everyone says that Angel Park, not anything against anybody else, but like Angel Park is just more, they come out into the pits afterward, and they are like, we want to sit in your car. Like, you don't even have to ask anybody. They're like, can we sit in your car? Yeah. And they always ask for shirts, and they always ask for hero cards or stickers or all that. And then I feel that down in Indiana, which I do get, like, some people that go down there don't want to put a target on their back, but at the same time, it's good to get that interaction with the fans. I just came up, because I'm on the fly too. I'm coming up with stuff. Let's go with pay. What do you think of the pay difference between Indiana and Wisconsin?
If you don't count the hotel cost and the fuel costs and tolls, Indiana does pay out more, but you're looking at the travel cost to get there. That's where you lose it, but that's not where I'm worried about. I mean, racing, you're not in it to make money. I mean,
yeah, only if you
have Nos Energy Drink sponsoring you.
Only few do. Only few do.
But I mean, showing up, making a transfer spot in the future, it definitely pays more.
Have you ran a weekend, full weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, down in Indiana, without a rain out?
Yes.
Yes. How is that compared to the other weekends?
Definitely.
Financially. Yeah. I mean, it is kind of nice too, because the pay actually goes with the tracks, because the tracks, they make their own purse up. And, you know, Paragon and Lincoln Park are in a battle right now to get more cars. And it's not because they have 5 cars. They still have 20, 30 cars a night, but they want more cars. So really, when tracks start fighting for cars, the drivers and teams are what win, because when we were there last year, I think it was Paragon started at it was $1,200 to win and like $200 to start, and Lincoln Park was at $1,400 or $1,500 to win and $225 to start. Well, then Paragon was like, we want more cars, so they went from $1,200 to like $1,600 or $1,700, and they bumped up the start and the B main non-transfers. And then cars kind of went over that way, and then Lincoln Park was like, no, and they're going to take them back. And then again, for fans that don't know, Lincoln Park and Paragon are only 45 minutes apart, and they both run on Saturday nights. Same classes, which is great. I think that's what Wisconsin kind of needs to do too, is kind of like more or less like get everyone, like every track should at least have the same sanction of modifieds and the same sanction as street stocks and the same sanction as the 604s and the same sanction as the Bandits or Hornets or whatever. So because then you have drivers have more of an option, and the drivers are going to go to where they want. Like, you know, right now the 604, like, was it 2 years ago? Yeah, 2 years ago when Angel Park was burning tires.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Like, well, we're running for points, so now we have to go there. Where if it was a little bit more open, we could be like, instead of going on Facebook and be like, oh, this sucks, blah, 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 like, you could have been like, all right, well, next Sunday we're going to go to another track and race, because that's just the way that we want to do it. But then it also keeps, I'll say, the track more honest, because they know that you're not going to just show up because that's the only place to race.
Yeah.
This kind of goes in with track fans pay. How are the officials in Indiana?
I do know that the flag guy at Brownstown, there was just something about it. Like, I was like, that guy's got some skill.
This ain't his first flag. So, anytime, there's only one track. Is it one track? No. I think they're just having an off night. Every track we've ever went to, like, they thank us like 10 times. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming. Thank you for coming.
I mean, like with the receiver and everything else, I mean, they were like, let's get lined up, let's go. I mean, even one thing I've noticed is with the 410s, like they like to get like a hot lap session in before they go racing. I mean, you see the guys going into 3 and 4 wide open, going across straightaway, and they really don't get yelled at. Versus with the crate cars, like, okay, this is still yellow, but it's real quick to them. They do like a half lap, a hot lap, and then they're straight to line up, and you'll get going across the back stretch. They say, okay, we're going green now. So I mean, they're really quick with it.
I know what you're talking about too, because like it's. I think Wisconsin can for sure do it. It's just everyone has to get on the same page immediately. Yes. Where it's like they should have the pace truck half a track ahead, and everyone kind of bunched up.
Yep.
And almost like if you know you're going to be in the first half or first quarter, you should like get in front of that pack, and then when they go, all right, line up, you can gas it up because you'll get a half lap, feel the car out, and then line up and then come to green. Alan Hafford, I say you get Ryan Zelski on the show. Well, fun fact, he will be on the show next season for sure. He texted me, was like, hey, when am I going to be on the show? I'm like, I honestly didn't know you wanted to be on the show, but yeah, we'll have you on for sure. But we're just booked all the way till Christmas. So
really, wow.
Yeah,
that's cool.
It's weird to say that.
I'm that special.
yes, you made the cut. No. So yeah, Ryan Zelski will be on for sure, season 2. And once we get past the holidays, I'll start to kind of book our guests for season 2 and
holiday break.
Yeah, we're doing a holiday break. Yeah, the Monday before Christmas, so a week before Christmas, we're having a Christmas special, and then we're going to be off for like 3 weeks.
Okay.
And that'll give me time. Because, like, I don't want to be like, hey, you want to be on the show? Yeah, what are you doing? March. It's like, it's way too far in advance. So yeah, but we're going to get Zelski on. It's gonna be that's going to be a barn burner for sure. I'm going to ask you this one, and which will kind of lead into the last point here. Steel blocks or 410s? Do you like racing again?
So, I like them both. For like running like midway through the year. Just because if we got a night off, it's nice because we got the crate motor in the car. It's nice to just go around with the steel blocks.
Mm-hmm.
But as of beginning of the year, we can have time for the weekend to swap out the motor. So then it's like running with the 410s. It makes it a little bit more better.
Yeah. What do you think the competition differences between the steel blocks and the 410s?
It's way different. I mean, first of all, to begin with, for me at least, it's nice to say that I have better equipment. So I'd say that's what makes me a little bit better. I mean, not toot my own horn, but
with the steel block.
Steel block.
Well, yeah, you have a sharper pencil.
Exactly. But I would like to say it's, for what I see, it's like a lot of guys do things where it's like, whoa, versus like me, it's like, okay, I kind of know better a little bit. I mean, don't get wrong, I make my fair share of mistakes too, but it's like, I definitely wouldn't do that.
Yeah. That's what Marshall said. He's like, yeah, these guys aren't afraid to junk their crap down here. I'm like, yeah, no, I think that's why they got 3 different colored whites on the cars, just because those are from 3 different cars that they had to piece together. Yeah.
I mean, there's the one car I was watching under yellow. It's like I was watching the right rear wheel do this. I was like, yeah, that's bent. But they're still going to send it.
Yeah, it's cool.
You can watch the front end, not even squared. It's like, okay.
Yeah. So when I watched the steel box, they're like, it's good. Like, honestly, though, that's kind of, I think, what the IRA was envisioning the Wisconsin Wingless to be, was kind of more like bring back the older cars that you can still get use out of them.
Yeah.
But then what happened? Drivers are going to be drivers, and teams are going to be teams, and new cars a new car, and tires and all that stuff. So, and I think the 410, especially when I ran the crate down in Indiana, like you had to be almost perfect just to keep up with them. on top, and so I call that horsepower between the legs. All right, so what do you like about Wisconsin tracks?
I like a lot about Wisconsin tracks. I like Angel Park a lot. I know you don't, but
I like it. I
like that track.
don't have luck there.
I mean, I like the whole history about that track. I mean,
Yeah.
My grandpa, grew up around there, did a lot of midget racing. He crewed for quite a few guys like Harry Turner and people like that. So, I mean, being able to go to that track, look in the museum, like, hey, my grandpa worked on that car, or things like that. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Just to, like, hey, my grandpa's name's,
There.
in there and
Yeah.
things like that. And it's like, okay, I'm racing at that track, and being able to talk to, like, another legend like Jimmy Jones, who I work with, too.
Okay.
It's a legend at Angel Park. It's very cool to make that connection with them, but it's also nice that it's, I shouldn't say right down the road, but right down the road, I don't got to drive, 6-7 hours down south. I can drive 2 hours north and still have the same amount of fun, in my opinion.
Yeah. Angel Park is, like, I don't want to bash anything. So I hope I don't come across that way. But it's just, I like Angel Park. I like the history of it. The speed there is fun.
Yeah.
But it's just, we don't have luck
But
there.
that's the same thing, like going to Wilmot, it's right down the road for me. It's basically in my backyard. It's definitely a fun track for what it is. And same thing, going to Beaver Dam. Well, when we did race there, it's cool. Yeah. It's a bank track. It's fast. It's awesome for sprint cars. But,
Yeah. I mean, so Wisconsin tracks, what I like is, the commute's a lot nicer. I feel that Wisconsin tracks have a little bit more variety in track surfaces.
Yes.
Than Indiana. Like, really, it's like if you're north and west of Indianapolis, it's going to be probably a tacky track.
Yep.
If you go south and east, it's going to be Wisconsin, kind of Dust Bowl, but still, like, that's just the clay. It's just how the clay works, right? So I think that there's a little bit more variety. Or like you go down to Bloomington, that's south, but that's hammered down all the time. So it's nice with the commute, more variety. I will say the hangout or the party after is way better in Wisconsin. Oh, it's way better.
Indiana? No.
Yeah. Yeah, one time we finished at Circle City, and I was like, Dad's like, let's have some beer. I'm like, all right. So all the races are done, we're sitting there, and one of the guys were like, you driving home tonight? And I'm like, yeah. He's like, you're going to have a beer? I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, Wisconsin, they give you a 6-pack when you get your driver's license. I think it's 7 out of the 10 drunkest cities in America are in Wisconsin.
Really?
Yeah. So... Yeah. But yeah, like the after party is great and I think that's where you kind of can let your guard down a little bit.
That's what I'd say what's is cool about like Wisconsin racing. It's like the after party. It's like for like me, it's like okay, go talk to this guy, go talk to that guy.
Yeah.
And you both feed off each other. For me, it's like I gain so much information from talking to these people to just learn and everything else. It's like in Indiana, everybody else is okay. Feature's over. Some people come up to me just because they've never seen me before. So like, hey, where are you from? They'll question me. But it's like outside of that, if they knew who I was, it's pack up and go home.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's bring the after party to Wisconsin for sure. We have a comment here from Swerve. Off 3 weeks sounds like your race schedule. Yes. Got to get my beauty rest, Swerve. Come on now. You think these locks of curls grow themselves? They don't. Yeah, I'm figuring out as I'm growing my hair out, like my hair is kind of curly. It's weird. I've been
told that too, but I don't grow mine out.
You should. It's great. You get to get people telling you to cut your hair all the time.
That's what my dad always says.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Topic 2 here. Presented by RevTech Manufacturing. If you can draw it, they can make it for you right here in Kenosha. So thank you, RevTech Manufacturing. What is the perfect format, Bryce?
My opinion, from my personal experience with racing, I'd say the all-star format, for me at least, from my experience with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, granted, I haven't been racing a lot to
know.
Yeah.
Okay. For the viewers that may not be familiar with the All-Star format, kind of break that down real quickly. You open this can of worms. I'm letting you. No, I'm kidding. We're kind of about the same, but it's just a little bit different.
So like we were talking about that earlier. You mentioned your half about it. And like I said, I kind of experienced this weekend a little bit, into which I can definitely see what you're saying from it, but just how qualifying and everything else, we were talking about that earlier, and everything else.
Okay. So the All-Star format is, I think it's qualifying in your groups?
Qualifying in your groups, your heat races and everything else.
Line straight up.
Yep.
Yeah. No invert in the heat race, right?
Nope.
Nope.
I don't believe so, no.
Yeah, so that's kind of basically my format that I would say would be the most, or not the most, the perfect format. But with a little tweak, I mean, I would be interested to even just trying it for a night, just to see if it was even possible. Because I know it would take a lot of stress off of scoring.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So my perfect format is you pill draw for your heat race starting spot when you check in. You get hot laps, but it means nothing. You're just shaking the car out. You might be able to throw up a setup on the car that you're just like, let's try that, see what the car does. You never know, right? So you get to experiment a little bit more. Then they line the heat up, obviously, by the way that you drew, and then do a hard top four, top five transfer. And heat race winner 1 starts on pole. Heat race winner 2 starts second. Heat race winner 3. Yep, so 1, 1, 1, 1, 1.
2, 2, 2.
Yep, 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4, and so on. B main is lined straight up from non-transfer cars, so that would be 666 or whatever. Yeah, 777. And then after that, they would tag the main straight up on how they finish. And the reason why I say that is because, to Bryce's point in the earlier topic, with the competition, is that Indiana drivers drive so much harder. It's because most of the formats run this in a way. Like, they'll still qualify, but you're qualifying within your group. But I would kind of like to see a pill draw for your heat race, because you might have a super stacked heat race, and you might have a heat race that doesn't really have any heavy hitters. So I wouldn't say it's more fair, but you get more variety.
I look at it too, is like when you start a feature, you're kind of racing against somebody that I would like to say you kind of got like the same
speed,
same speed, same talent, versus
Yeah. So, and again, like I said, that this would just make every spot, every race mean something. Because let's say right now, if you qualify really bad, motor doesn't fire. Used to that. If you don't qualify, you start last in your heat.
Kiss your night goodbye.
Yeah. You start last in your heat. If you don't make it up to a transfer spot, you start last in the B. So basically, you might as well pack up and go home.
If you don't qualify good, you might as well kiss your night goodbye.
Yes. And also, too, the reason why we watch Swerve, I see your comment, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. Are you, like, for the heat races, that's how they start? So heat race 1 has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, maybe.
I just want some clarification on that. That's a good thing. A question. Yeah. So if you were to, let's just say, pull a pill and you're in a stacked heat race, and you know you're probably not going to get to the transfer spot, at least you know if you just keep passing cars, you'll put yourself in a better spot for your B main start. And again, with this format for the drivers, I'm sure at Brownstown, once you figured out that that's how they're running it, you're like, well, we finished in this spot, so that's going to put me here.
That's what was nice about it, because I didn't know. It's not a home track, so I don't know where to go look at or who to get a hold of. So it was like, okay, well, this is what I did, so it wasn't that bad. Okay, 1, 1, 2. Okay, I'm probably going to start here or here roughly. Sure enough, it's right where I was. So made it a little bit easier versus going to Wilmot or just dealing with our group in general. It's like, okay, the invert. And
you got the invert
figured out in my head.
Wait, did Sivia win the heat or did he not win the heat? Because then that would knock him out of I feel the best way that I could shorten this up is I feel that this format puts your fate of the night into the driver's hands versus other drivers based on where you are. Yeah. Now, to the invert for the main, I think if you worked your butt off that hard all night, you should start on the front row, or at least where you should be in that heat race. If you finish second, you should be, row 3 or 4 or whatever. Versus, well, we didn't qualify good, so that means we have to start 15th or something. Yeah. So that is kind of like the perfect format that I say. Now we're going to kind of go through a little something because I am slightly professional and I took a lot of notes here. So bear with me real quick. Okay. So I went through this season alone. I should have practiced how I was going to phrase this question.
It took me a second.
Yes. It takes everybody a second.
Say it twice.
Yes. So I took the top 16 in qualifying. Now, the reason why the top 16 is so important is because that's your invert for your heat races, right? If you qualify 16th, you're starting pole of heat 1, and if you qualify fast time, you're starting 4th in heat 1. Matt Roebuck should not pass guys in your heat, and then those guys end up starting ahead of you in the feature. Yes, and again, my format idea, or the way that a lot of Indiana tracks do it, is like, no, if you pass, like, you should be rewarded all night. Yeah. For your hard work. Because I mean, honestly, you can ask anyone right now, where's the best spot to qualify? 4 through 6, 7, somewhere in that spot. Like, all you gotta do is transfer, and you're probably gonna start in the front row. That's a great way to race a race car, right? No, it's a qualifying car. You're just doing qualifying. You're not actually racing the car. You're just qualifying the car. And if our night is going to be so dependent on qualifying, you would think we should have single car qualifying, because then you have no excuses. You had nobody in your way. You can't. No one spun out and slowed your rhythm down. Like, no, that's it. So these are percentages of drivers that qualified in the top 16 this year. So in your 100%, 100% of the time these guys showed up, they qualified in the top 16. How many drivers? And there are part-timers in here too. So like, I know that kind of skews it a little bit, but I'm just saying, like,
I'm gonna say there's got to be 6 drivers.
6 on the nose. On the nose. Highside. So Ryan Zelsky and Clayton Rossman, 100% of the time, qualified in the top 16. Yeah. Then you have your part-timers. Myself, Brian Strain, Jake Kuba, and Matt Vanderveer. Part-timers, but when we show up, you qualify in the top 16. Then, at 88%, you have Jimmy Sivia, Ryan Marshall, and Tim Cox, which I think basically means you missed one night, maybe.
So, I mean, kind of go back to the top 3. How many times have Brian Strain, Matt Vanderveer raced with us? Do you know?
Oh,
because if they just raced them one time, I mean, would you count that? Or
I mean, yeah, the only one that was really questionable was Vanderveer. I think he ran twice, but we'll get into something in a second here. These are just times you just qualify in the top 16, which is basically the top half. Jimmy Sivia, Ryan Marshall, Tim Cox, 88%. Then you had your part-timers, Nathan Crane and Greg Olson, 80%. Chris Klemko, Alan Hafford are at 78%. Johnny Full, full-timer, 77%. You got Chris Dodd, Zach Rader, 75%, part-timers. Rusty Egan and Greg Alt, 66%. Seth Johnson, Eric Wilkie, and Bryce Andrews. Look at you. 55%. Of the time. And these are, and I should have stated this before, this is not the World of Outlaw night because there's no qualifying that night. And it's not the championship format night either. So there's 20 total events. These are the 18 that we qualified in, right? So you have to go all the way down to Tyler Cuck's house before you get to the first 50-50s chance. When he shows up, he qualifies in the top 16, which I'm going to say that's probably even, that number's really low. What's up, Jimmy IE? I would say that Tyler Cuck's house's percentage is lower than what it would probably, because he found speed towards the end of the season. So I'm sure if we had another 5 races, that pushes boost him up. right? So
Drop me down, boost him.
yes. So really, I mean, if you look at all these names, Zelsky, Rossman, Crane, Strain, Kuba, Vanderveer,
top 16 in points.
Yeah, Sivia, Marshall, Cox, the other Crane, Nathan Olson, Chris Klemko, Hafford, Johnny Falk, Chris Dodd, Zach Radar, Egan, all like those. That's way over 16 just there, and I'm pretty sure. Actually, wow, all those names. Well, except for Greg Alt, all those drivers have won features. Crazy, crazy. So basically, on a night, those are going to be your top 16s. And then you have your 1, 2, 3 offs. So I want to give everyone a little love too. Tate Hensley, Natalie Klemko are at 44%. Lance Thompson, Craig Lager are at 42%. CJ Malik and Tristan Furseth are at 38%. Dennis Spitz is at 27%. Sean Swims at 25%. Ralph Johnson, the participant, is 22% with Austin Hansen. Quiet Riot himself, Josh Davidson, 16%. Part-timer Dan Wade at 15%. David Wallace, 11%. And then Trinity UTEC and Tom Eller at 5%. Right? So out of the whole season, 23 full-timers qualify in the top 16 at least once, and 15 part-timers qualify in the top 16 once. Which is that's pretty good.
Yeah.
But it's so high percentage that really you're only going to have on a given night you'll probably have 12 of the same drivers every night, kind of in that top 16. So that also shows just how important qualifying is and how much your night means, and if you mess it up. Now, Ashley brought up something really good. She said that this year, or not necessarily this year, but she's said that it seems like it's the same top 10 drivers that start in the top 10. Which is almost true. Out of 18 nights, there were 18 full-timers. There were 18 full-timers that started in the top 10 at least once, and 6 part-timers. And then if we're going to go by percentages, we have Clayton Rossman at 100%, myself part-timer at 92%, and I'm using the actual My Race Pass, where you're like, yeah, I went to the back twice, but I was supposed to start in the top 10, right? Jimmy Sivia and Ryan Marshall at 83%, Ryan Zelsky's at 77%, Zach Rader at 75%, Alan Hafford at 72%, Tim Cox 66%, Chris Klemko 55%, Rusty Egan 50%, Chris Dodd 50%, and Tyler Coxhouse and Matt Vander are also at 50%. So before we even get to like the 50-50 shot, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, yeah. So Ashley, in a way, is right that it is the same top 10 drivers almost every night. Now, that's what I have to say on that format. Facebook, comment what you guys think of the current format versus any format that you would like to see. Matt Roebuck here said something. I don't know if he meant it, but it triggered my mind here with the format here. Excuse me. Matt Roebuck says, "Oh, I like stats." Sorry, dyslexia. He said, "Oh, I like stats." I read it real quickly out of the corner of my eye. "Oh, I like starts." So I was like, "We didn't talk about starts with formats."
Yeah.
Do you like the no-no cone?
Not really.
I think it slows down the action going into turn 1.
Yep. Because everybody's got and then you will kind of wait for the guy in front of you because they like to do something. It's like, eh. I
mean, I could argue 100% that the no-no cone is actually more dangerous than it not being there.
Maybe like Sully and hit it too.
Oh, I've hit it. I've hit it plenty of times.
But like close.
So the thing with the no-no cone is I know it's halfway up the track.
Yeah.
But like when you're coming, they're usually on it or like a few feet off the no-no cone.
Yeah.
but and it's at the start finish line, so you don't know if he's going bottom or top.
Yep.
So if you're really wanting to try to gun it, you have to take a 50-50 shot.
Exactly.
He might go to like Plymouth 2020. We restarted. I restarted behind my brother Nathan, and I'm like, we have a shot to get a solid top 3 here. And I'm like, I don't care if he's going to the top. I'm going to the top, and I just hope he's not there. And I'm glad he went down to the bottom because that would have been looking like the Bodine brothers at the break. Like, you purposely drove into it. I'm like, no, I just came in with a whole head of steam. With Indiana, Matt Roebuck here says, start like USAC, wide open after leader starts. Yes. Also, a lot of drivers would have been penalized if we did start like USAC, because USAC, you have to be nose to tail, bumper to bumper. You can't be hanging out here, can't be down here. Otherwise, it's like a 3 spot? Or no, 5 spot? I gotta look at the rules. I think it's 2 spots if a yellow comes out, but I think it's 3 spots if no yellow comes out and it ends. You're docked 3 spots or something. It's 2 or 3. So that's good. I like that. But if we want to do the whole fanning out thing, let's go Circle City, bro.
I was at Angel Park. I had a car up here, and I was like, who do I go behind? He's up here, but there's like 4 guys in front of me, and they're in a straight line. It's like, what do I do?
I did kind of feel like that. Like, I was just like kind of like under the radar, like, hey, race director, so what am I supposed to do when 2 cars are here, but the next 2 cars are up here, and another car's not like, am I supposed to follow the car in front, or am I supposed to follow the leader? I don't know. Yeah, so if you really just want to make it easy, just Circle City. Lights turn green, tracks green. Go. And I got Clayton when he went down. I told him, too, after the driver's meeting, I was just like, hey, when the light turns green, you can pass. And then he started like 9th, and we started 19th. I was coming through. We met around 8th, 9th, somewhere there. And yellow came out, and I'm sitting down. And they're like, all right, guys, we're coming to green. And I'm like, I don't think Clayton remembers that. So I waited, and I just saw the light turn green. I darted underneath them, got like 2 spots, 3 spots. It was so cool. But then the kingpin in the right front decided that it didn't want to be welded to the front axle anymore, and I almost went for a big ride. Yeah. So those are kind of just different. And Matt Roebuck, or Facebook too, how important is a start or restart in your opinion as a spectator? Karen Porter, I like to see individual time trials. I think if everyone was on the same page, individual time trials could actually go faster.
Yeah. Potentially
go faster. And if the argument is, well, if someone flipped in a group, you stop the group.
Yeah.
So,
in my opinion, then you got to get on a track, push start everybody, and then you get their green-white checker.
Yes. Jeff Curcio, double them up on restarts and choose high-low. Would make for more exciting racing and probably more than 6 different winners. I would say yes to double file only if you can choose high-low.
Yes, that I could agree with.
Because if it's a lockdown track and you're second, you're like, I'm going to lose 5 spots here because I can't get down on the bottom. But if you can choose high-low, and then also, if it's a lockdown track, you're probably going to get your top 4 or 5 guys to go out on the bottom. Guy in 6 might go to the top. Yeah. And he actually might get the guy going into 1. So Circle City did double file restarts, but it was first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And that... it made the racing better, but it didn't make a driver kind of... It was just like, you just hope that you're there.
I'd be skeptical of is more wrecks.
Well, you be flipping. So, if there was a vote right now, would you go for double file restarts with the choose?
Double file with your choose.
With the choose?
Yeah.
Yeah, you would? Okay, double file with no choose? I mean, gotta be careful because, I don't want to say something that I don't want and it actually happens. Because I'm trying to lobby here. Like I said, no. Double file would make the racing better for spectators. But like I said, if it's a choose,
high-low, I'm good. If it's a double file no choose, I'm with you. No. Again, it would be cool to see that, like, to trial it out on, like, Fair Night or something.
Yeah.
But, like, just to see, like, I'm not saying, like, okay, this is it for the rest of the year. Okay, Jeffatha. So, his comment is double them up on restarts and choose high-low would make more exciting racing and probably more than 6 different winners. Jeff, if all the races had double file restarts and it was a choose, who are 2 or 3 guys that haven't won a feature this year that you think would benefit from that format? There we go. That's a good question.
That's a very good question.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a great topic. Wow. Nice. So while he's doing it, hopefully he's replying, because that's going to be awkward if he's
That's
not.
when they click out of it. Like,
Yeah, nah. All right, so the bench racing alt would be one. Okay.
He was coming for you that one day.
Yeah, and I held him up. I had the anchor out.
Let's cheer for him.
I did tell him afterward. I'm like, if I am so mad that I dropped the ball, and I'm even more mad that you didn't win, because at least if you won, I could be really Sully. Well, he wouldn't have a right rear to eat. Oh, love you, Sully. Yeah, so we have a few minutes here. Jeff's still doing his third, or if he's doing 2. TB might, if Sully can, TB can. So with the new name change with the Bench Racing Podcast, like, iron steer, single car qualifying, line them straight up, choose cone on restart, single file if there's a okay. Yeah, that's another thing, another can of worms. If there's a red on a double. Oh, Bryce. Jeff has said Bryce would a feature on that format.
I'm trying.
Yeah, that's actually a really good thing too. Like, if they were to trial it too, they would also have to kind of see, like, is the racing that much better that we're willing to risk more, possibly more reds?
Yeah.
Because everyone goes to the track to watch people race, right? No, they go for the crashes. They haven't paid for a crash yet. I think if they paid for a crash, they'd be a little bit more sad when someone crashed. Yeah, so with the Bench Racing Podcast, like, I want this to be a little bit more like just more bench racy instead of more topicy. So that's why there's only 2 topics, and I'm still surprised we're at 56 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We'd be talking. So now Bryce and I are just gonna bench race here. Please feel free to comment anything, and we'll go for about maybe 5-10 minutes about some stuff. Because I got 2 things that kind of lead us into that. So the first thing is I got some very constructive criticism from some viewers. There we go. Which I always appreciate, because, this is for you guys. Like, I mean, I still would talk to Racer if you guys weren't watching or listening. But, this is for you guys, and hopefully you guys are enjoying this. So they have said that sometimes it feels too constrictive because of the topics. So again, and then also we were in Jeff's hot tub on Saturday, and Marshall and I were literally just talking about everything, and I'm like, this is kind of like how I'd like the show to go now, actually. So we're just going to be talking.
Did I hear that you 2 were sitting in a hot tub?
Together. He's going to kill me. There were more people. We had swimsuits on. Come on now.
You have socks on?
Did he have his socks on? I have no idea. I actually don't know. I know a lot of us woke up with headaches the next day. Let's just say that.
I don't remember what happened.
Oh, perfect. Here we go. Perfect way to start bench race portion of the show. Jimmy Umnus. Bryce, how did your weekend go?
I went actually very well. Got an awesome top 10 finish. Started out at a track never actually really heard of, nor kind of decided at the last minute, like, hey, let's go.
Would you call me Wednesday? Hey, have you ever ran at this track? I'm like, nope. Where?
Yeah, So, I mean, me being me, I'm just trying to get as many laps under my belt as I possibly can. And no better way of doing that than going racing. So I called Derek up on Wednesday. I was like, hey, have you ever heard of Brownstown? And he was like, yeah, I've heard of it, never raced it. I was like, oh, good. I was like, well, I'm going racing there. And, you know, with having different motor and different shocks and everything else on the car, it's kind of been a little learning experience. We got new shocks thanks to Eddie Boyd and everything else. We had that with the crate car and everything else, and that's just been a night and day difference. And with that, I was like, I gotta figure this out, gotta learn it. The car's totally different.
Oh yeah.
And I've just become obsessed with that. It's like, I gotta keep racing, I gotta keep figuring this out, keep feeling the car. And I decided to go down to Indiana. I couldn't end the year at Plymouth in September. I was like, let's keep going. So we went down to Brownstown. Like Derek was saying, they did it down there where it was you pull your pill to where you start in your heat race. So our qualifying was just hot laps. It was practice. It didn't mean nothing, but it meant a little bit to me because in my group, I set quick time in our group, which was pretty cool. Come to find out, actually, yesterday.
It was another track record.
I was very close. I was 0.02 of a second off.
And this was against 4 times.
Yes. And with that, I was 4th overall. After I kept looking through it on there, I took a picture of the lineup, and they had all the times down. So I was 4th overall. Started 6th in the heat race, finished 6th. Somehow started 10th in the feature and finished 8th.
Nice. How many cars showed up?
19.
Ooh, nasty. Wow.
And then we were going to go to Circle City, but they got rained out, so we decided to go to the Asphalt USAC show at the Indianapolis Motorplex and watch that, and they got rained out halfway through. But it was actually very, very cool to watch. I've never been to a USAC pavement race, but that was cool. I'm a big CJ
don't say the wrong name.
I'm a big Logan CV fan, and it was pretty cool watching him.
How many shirts do you have?
All of them.
You're a fan girl. All of them.
All of them.
Do you get a special discount?
Nope. But I did pre-order his 4 Crown Sweep shirt, and sweatshirt.
And sweatshirt.
And sweatshirt.
Just don't wear them at the same time. Tacky.
Actually, no, I got the T-shirt from my dad, and I got the sweatshirt. So.
Okay.
But we won't wear them at the same time.
Yeah, and you actually just had a birthday.
I did.
So you actually bought your first hotel room.
I did.
Legally.
I did buy my first hotel room. That was fun. My dad enjoyed it.
Yeah. Before this, he was buying hotels illegally.
Here's my card. Here's my card.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was. It's cool now that being an adult, I get to go to big boy jail now, so I kind of got to keep it.
Yeah, and sprint car drivers will actually punch you, and they're not punching a minor anymore, so you gotta have to. Yeah, figure that out. Matt Roebuck, going to Gas City.
Yes, I am going.
Nice. That's 410 Steel Block.
410's on Saturday, the 21st.
Oh yeah, it's a one-day show, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
So we'll be there for that.
Are you gonna rip the lip?
Try to.
Don't try, do.
I'm gonna go where they aren't.
Yeah. Go where they're not. Yeah. Enjoying the bench racing. Awesome. Well, thank you.
Sweet.
Thank you. Man, I might not even need my notes that I kind of just jotted down just to kind of get stuff started. Jeff Curcio, I found wet socks out there. You found a lot more than such socks. I know he. Oh man, I should have been like. I should have went over there to help him clean up a little bit. Oops. Sorry, Jeff. Matt Roebuck, Steel Box Run, Gas City. Is it Steel Box? At Gas City?
Facebook, it's just 410 sprints, 410 outcomes.
Mm.
Either way, I'm going.
Yeah. Either way, Gas City is a great time. What's your? You said Lincoln Park's your favorite track. What do you think about Gas City?
Gas City, that's another awesome track. I mean, that's definitely within my top 5 of tracks that I've definitely raced at.
Okay. Yes. I would say Gas City's my favorite, but Lincoln Park is that one that actually slightly intimidates me.
Really?
Yes.
Because of the curb?
Yes. And if you don't want to be called candy butting it, because we're a clean show. You have to run the foot curb.
I was
even
there.
if it's down on the bottom and you're starting in the back. They're like, you got to go up there.
So I was there the night when that picture was floating around when one of the officials were sitting on the curb. So I was there that night.
How was it?
That was luckily I was in the first group, so it wasn't that bad. But I went out to go.
This is with your crate?
Yeah.
Okay.
This was the beginning of the year, and I remember just sitting up there, and I remember. I think it was a red flag or whatever it was. I remember going to my dad and I was like, look at that guy. He's sitting on there. And he was like, wow.
Yeah.
And then it turned into a whole social media thing. I was like, I took that picture first because I took it on my phone.
It's viral. What viral?
It's like I should have posted it first.
Yeah, no, like Lincoln, was it turn 1? No, actually, Lincoln Park turn 1 is like the only turn 1 that I feel like I can get through really good. Usually I'm better in 3 and 4 no matter where we run. Beaver Dam, Wilmot, Angel Park, Plymouth, I don't know. But turn 1 at Lincoln Park, I'm not. It's turn 3. Maybe because I've seen guys go up into the trees. So that's where it hurts. That's where it gets you. Matt Roebuck, stronger. Steel blocks run Gas City, 1,000 to win. John Gurley's stronger than Steel Sprint Car Series. Wow.
I'll be there.
You'll be there? Have you ran with the stronger than Steel?
Yeah.
How do you like it? I feel like it's. Go ahead. Sorry.
It's a little intimidating, a little bit. I mean, they're like, it's either you're gonna die or this is gonna be one hell of a.
Either
race.
you're stronger than Steel or you're gonna die. You can't be just Steel. Yeah, because I heard that the reason why Stronger Than Steel took off was because they weren't going to allow a vintage guy to run, but he had an aluminum block.
Yeah.
Which is basically the only rule that the steel blocks have is it has to be a steel block. So it's like, well, what's a vintage car? Because I could find like an early 90s down tube car and run my aluminum block motor in it, right? Like, so, I mean, more series can help racing if it's done in the right way. What's your thought, Matt, on Stronger Than Steel Sprint Car Series, since you brought it up? We're going to ask a question here because I had to write it down because everyone wants to know. Everybody.
I've been avoiding this moment.
Yes, Facebook. How many times has a Team MSR car flipped? That's Bryce Andrews, Tom Brown, Sully, Ryan Marshall, myself, and that's it, right? Those are 5 drivers. How many times has a Team MSR car flipped? Bryce Andrews, Tom Brown, Mike Sullivan, Derek Crane, Ryan Marshall. Technically, Jeff Curcio and John Curcio drove a Team MSR car too, so yeah, we'll throw those in there.
I think they got the best luck out of all of us.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to give anything away just yet, but I mean, I broke, but I never flipped in the. Ooh. Wow. Jimmy Umness 7, John Curcio 12. So we did the math before the show. It is 9. 8. Ashley got 8. Ooh, very good. That was close. Highside. So we did Bryce has 4. Tom Brown has 1. And Sully has 4 question mark.
It depends on how many kind of call it, like modified days and things like
No,
that.
sprint cars. Sorry, sprint cars. Yeah. Sprint cars. I think it's 4. If someone knows that it's more than 4, please correct me.
I bet Jeff would know.
Well, this was Jeff's question.
Jeff doesn't know.
Well, he was like, well, how many? Because he's like, Bryce has 4. He has probably more than 4. But this is his only year that he's flipping. Because we've nicknamed it like Sully be flipping. Because, yeah. Because he had a real rough streak there. Just, that's what it is. Tom Brown's, oh yeah, and myself and Marshall, we have not flipped with a Team MSR sticker on it. That's right, because we were making fun
But he
of
has
the
flipped
fact.
with a Thank Sully sticker on his car.
But that's not Team MSR.
Still had Sully on it.
I know.
Maybe Sully's just bad luck.
Jimmy Umnus. We're talking about the Team MSR sticker, Michael Sullivan Racing. But yes, I have flipped twice.
That's it?
Well, 1.2. Like that first one was a 0.2. It wasn't even a real thing. It was just like, oh no. Almost like when someone yells timber. It was like that. But yeah, so Bryce, you've had 2 flips in a row. Back to back, or is it 3?
3.
3. Ouch. Sorry, I didn't mean to bring that up. Sully did 2 back to back. Tom is the only one that just did it once.
Record. See, we got 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a Team MSR thing.
So
I set the record high.
Yeah. And the track low. Track record low. Oh, Jimmy. Okay. Yeah. You realize that after. All good. So I don't want to open too much of a can of worms here. But how do you feel about your flips? Do you feel like you learned something from them? Do you feel like it wasn't your fault? Do you think it was just a racing incident? Like
50-50.
50-50. Why not? Which ones?
I'm going to say World of Outlaw Night. I'd say most people can already say that wasn't my fault.
Okay.
And then there was that the non-point show. I had a video of it, and some people asked to see it, and I sent it to them. And everything else, like I said, I'm not that type of person that's going to go on social media that say, this person did this, and yeah, I'm just not that type of person. I'm going to say that was their fault. I mean, I could have probably tried to miss it a little bit more than I could, but I mean,
You just weren't expecting it. You weren't expecting it.
I was going into one. I mean, wide open. I was going to wholesale that car in there, and then all of a sudden, trying to exit the track. But I ended up talking with the person. I mean, we cleared.
No, we can name. Yeah, so we're talking about the incident on September 16th. Ralph Johnson, something broke on the car under green, and he was trying to pull off. And I think he didn't think that he was running last already, so I don't think he thought that anyone was behind him, and just kind of left a little bit of a gap between him and the wall, and Bryce was up there and he went to go pull off. I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, yes, there's something wrong. It wasn't that he was just like, oh, I'm just gonna pull off. Yeah. So you're cool with that one, right? What about the Outlaw Night one?
Outlaw Night, I mean, I have the videos on my Facebook page. I mean, you can see I was just driving the bottom, trying to go straight and...
Okay. And then the first two.
The first one, my first ever one, that was 100% 10 my fault. I hit that front wall at Wilmot, as I like to call it.
The berm?
Yep, and just...
So you did it before Sully did it?
No, Sully did it first. Oh. Yep, and then I did it after
still didn't learn your lesson. Come on, man. And then the second one was getting into Daryl Dodd's car. Yeah, Zach Radart.
I got the...
What happened? Like, because that was like right behind me. Like what?
Checkered. I got the video of it. I can show you afterwards.
Yeah, but what were you thinking?
But that one hurt. That one hurt. Actually, I ended up getting a hospital ride on that one.
Yeah, and so did Zach.
Yep.
Yeah.
A couple of bruised ribs and everything else, but I'm still here to tell the story.
Yeah. Well, obviously we can laugh about it now. You're all right.
Like that one, I was in a state of shock. I didn't know what happened. I just remember going up, and I remember just, this is gonna hurt, because it kept going and going and going, and then all of a sudden it stopped.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, as a third party here looking at it from the outside, I just think like you went for slider and just didn't clear it all the way. But you don't remember, so we'll just have to kind of split the atom there. John Curcio, which is better, DRC or Spike, and why? Well, I think if you are getting a non-wing car,
DRC.
I don't think you can pick. Like, if you pick one of those, you're fine.
DRC.
You like a Derek Crane race or Derek's race car?
Yep.
Okay. Have you driven a Spike?
No.
So I feel like this is to me now. So BG's car's a DRC, and I drive Spikes. When the Spike is hooked up it feels like a DRC, and when the DRC is hooked up, it feels like Spike. Like I don't. And if you were to look at the cars, I think there's like only very minor differences between the two. But I do also think that a tube is a tube. You just got to figure it out. Like one car might like a turn instead of a turn and a half of tilt, or might like a 3 off more than a 4 off or 5 off inch offset. But safety wise, either or, I don't think you can go wrong. Like those are probably, John, would you say that DRC and spikes are probably the most safest non-wing cars on the market right now?
I tested that theory.
And so has Sully. Because, yeah, I know triple X's are cheaper, but at the same time,
I like my DRC better than my triple X. I can say that.
Yeah, the triple X are more throwaway cars. Like you flip it, and it's like almost, it's a little bit more. It's only like a couple $100 more to just buy another one and fix it. Where the DRCs and spikes are more expensive, but I feel that they don't bend as easy, so you have less bent stuff. However, Marshall, when him and Tate Hensley got together, can't believe that moved the front end over. Like that was, I don't know how that happened. John, here's you. Yes, better. Awesome. All right. We have here, now this one's, we'll go one more with this bench racing. It's just a topic that I kind of did some stats for. So hopefully the stat people out there like this. We have had, in the dirt sprint car midget world, we've had 2 female drivers win a championship. The first one being Jade Avedizian. I think I'm saying that right.
I pronounced that wrong. Holy cow.
How do you say it? Aver?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there's no R in there.
English is hard, okay?
Yes. Especially between there, and there. Jade Avedizian is the Extreme Midget Champion with 29 starts, 5 wins, 16 top 5s, 26 top 10s, which means she's only finished outside the top 10 3 times. She beat Zach Dahm by 59 points, and third place was Gavin Miller. Fourth place was Cannon McIntosh, and then someone that races in Wisconsin with the Badger Midgets, Chase McDermott, got 5th in points, and he had the most wins of the series. So we've had Jade Avedizian win the Extreme World of Outlaw Midgets. And then literally right before we were starting to go live, I saw on Facebook that Kayla Roll is the MSCS, which is basically the IRA of Indiana, non-wing cars. But yeah, same thing as the IRA, just more of a traveling regional series. Won the championship by 13 points. Their points is not as easy to read, so I just wrote 13 points. She got Rookie of the Year, youngest driver to ever win the championship, and the first female in series history.
She knocked that off.
And she is, I don't know how old she is, but she is way under 17.
Yeah.
She is definitely under 17. So my question now is that now that we're having some chicks here win championships, in the Wisconsin Wingless, who do you think can win a championship? That would be Natalie Klemko, Ellie Hensley, Trinity Utek. Who else is there? That's a girl. I think those are the 3 ones. Or someone else that may be coming that we don't know yet. That's on our radar.
I'd say Ellie.
Yeah, I would say Ellie.
I mean,
too.
she can run that wing car pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I should have clarified that too. Wisconsin Wingless, 604 wing, 410 wing. Should have said the IRA series, sorry. But yeah, I think Ellie can win it. Nothing against the other 2. You know,
Natalie, she's kind of a part-time driver, so it's kind of be hard for her.
Yes.
To, you know.
I think Trinity is hopefully working on her overall craft. Like, I think she could still work on her qualifying speed, her heat race speed, and her main speed. Jamie Umness here, Ellie Hensley, exactly. I do classify you, Bryce Andrews, and Natalie Klemko in the same group of drivers, skill level. If you race someone, I'm sorry, but you cannot race, dude. And Natalie too. I'm sorry, but if you guys get out in a clear track, like you two are gone. Like if you don't have anyone in front of you, you can only hit your marks.
Yeah.
So I think that's where like Natalie would have to work on her racecraft a little bit more to be a championship contender. What's up, Maddie Schutzen? And then we're going to circle back real quick to the chassis. Ryan Zalski says Triple X all the way. Who used to run DRCs and spikes.
Yeah.
Jimmy Umness, I don't know. Nathan did a pretty good number on the black pile, which was a DRC. Yep, was a DRC. Now it's literally a pile. So yeah, well, this has been fun. We have a game coming up here. So I forgot to mention our presenting sponsor.
How dare you!
I know, I'm a rookie. Ashley Beer Photography is the presenting sponsor of Highside or Lowside. So please enjoy this post-edit. This is going to be your part because we're down on the car count. We have no co-host here. So it's going to be Bryce versus Facebook, and we're doing Highside or Lowside, which I've gotten probably the most positive reviews on which games we play so far.
Highside, Lowside.
Highside, Lowside. So, again, if you're not familiar with Highside or Lowside, we have 6 questions here. I'm going to be asking Bryce a number that he wants me to ask him. All the answers are numbers. He's going to give me a number. If he's dead on, he gets 2 points. If he's wrong, Facebook, you have a chance to steal. If you get it right, you get 1 point. But if you get it wrong, you lose a point. And when I say it's your turn, all you got to say is that the answer is higher than what he said or lower what he said. So we're going to get into this. Really excited. This one is pretty much, it's all Wisconsin, Wingless, and Wilmot. All right. So we're going to start off with Bryce. Bryce, which number do you want?
Let's go with 4.
4. All right. Clayton Rossman had a great season, obviously. How many features did he not finish in the top 10? Which is actually 2?
2.
That is dead on. Bryce Andrews. Clayton Rossman had 2 features where he did not finish in the top 10. That is a stout season. And you can kind of see where the championship was won was off of your top 10 finishes because by far he had the most. He had 18. Yeah, he had 18. I think the next person had like 17, 16. It was a great season for him. All right, Facebook. What question would you like me to ask you guys? 1, 2, 3, 5, or 6? And feel free to comment. If we have like a bunch of the same number, that's the one we'll go with. While we're waiting, you are going to be only racing at Gas City there? That's the last race of the year?
Yeah, Gas City, and then the 28th is at Circle City.
28th is at Circle City. Okay. Yes. Oh my goodness. 1, 5, 3.
For a couple more.
Yeah. We need some tiebreakers here. One more second. I should probably figure out how to do this to where it's more like whoever does it first. Oh, actually, 2, 3. Okay, we got 3s. We got 3s. 3s it is. All right. Since 2015, how many Wisconsin Wingless 604s racing events been scheduled at Wilmot Raceway? Oh man, this is funny. while we're waiting here, again, real quickly, since 2015, how many Wisconsin Wingless 604 racing events have been scheduled at Wilmot Raceway? And this is including the 2023 season. So that is a lot. That's eight years.
Yeah.
That's 8 years. God. Glad you didn't get this one, huh? Ryan Zelski, how many features did the 09 win after his motor got protested?
Did he win one?
The only one that that's
I think he might have won one. I could be
but
wrong.
see, I don't know if that was before or after.
Yeah.
Ashley, I think I know there's a couple second delay, but I'll just repeat it one more time. Since 2015, how many Wisconsin Wingless 604 racing events been scheduled at Wilmot Raceway?
Can I go on MRP and just like...
I don't know. We got 115, 125, 0. I don't think that's for the game. 115, 125, 113. Alrighty, we are gonna go with wrong. Facebook, everyone's wrong. Highside or Lowside?
I'm gonna say Highside.
Highside. Maddie comes in with 127, Ashley 132, and Bryce is on the board with 1. So with 3 now, because you got that one right. 159 races.
Ooh, I would have been close. I guess my head was like 152.
152. Wow. Awesome. All right, Bryce. 1, 2, 5, 6.
Do 2.
2. Out of all the ones to get, this is the one. Okay. How many drivers how many drivers won a Wisconsin Wingless Sprint Series sanctioned non-points A main? This comes from John Curcio. He mentioned this a while ago, and I was like, that would be a good question to ask.
Say that one more time.
How many drivers won a Wisconsin Wingless Sprint Series sanctioned non-points A main? And the way that I determined that was a non-points race is I literally went through the IRA
points
and anything that had racing with something else or was on the board.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Ryan Zelski, I have a few. That is correct.
I'm gonna say 5.
5. That is wrong. Facebook, Highside or Lowside? How many drivers won a Wisconsin Wingless Sprint Series sanctioned non-points A main? Alan says 3. Let's see, we're going to wait a couple more seconds here. Oh, we got low. Oh, wow, low. 2. So you said, what was yours?
7.
7. I'm going to give it one more second here because this is good. This is good. All right, so let's count low sides. 1, 2, 3. So this is going to be majority rules here because we got 1, 2 high sides. And it is high side. There have been 11 non-point A main winners. Bill Baylog, Wilmot, 2017. Robert, don't. Yeah, no. Bill Baylog, Wilmot, 2017. Robert Ballou, Fairbury, 17. Jimmy Kuba, SK Speedway, 2018. Cam Schaefer, Cedar Lake, 2018. Mitchell Davis, Wilmot, 2018. Zelski Dodge in 2020. Zelski and Jake Kuba at Beaver Dam in 21. Jake Kuba at Gas City. Dan Wade at Gas City. and Cummins in 2019. Zelski,
Those are the ones he won, I believe.
yeah, but I didn't see Zelski's Gas City. Interesting. So I thought it was Dan Wade and Jay Kuba that one. Trying to think. All right. So that was you. So Facebook 156. Yeah, that was fun to find because there's like no good stat to go off of. That was just
That's
like,
a good one.
I sat here. So thank you, John Curcio, for that idea. That was very good. And I do feel like I can go to John with some stuff where I find I'm like, I don't think this is right. All right.
One it is.
Oh, just naming tracks. Oh, gotcha. Okay, all right, cool. Scared me. All right, Facebook's going with 1. In the history of the Bill Grogan race, which is 5 years running.
As I'm looking at his trophy.
Yeah, since you're looking at it, he's looking at you. In the history of the Bill Grogan race, so it's 5 years, so 5 races. How many times has the winner started on the front row?
I know you. So there's 1.
Yes. All right, I'm gonna like Karen's here just so I make sure like I know where the guesses start. In the history of the Bill Grogan race, 5 years, how many times has the winner started on the front row? Which I found very, very interesting. Very interesting. So you got 5 choices. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Ryan Zelski here says 2. Jeff Curcio says 5. So all of them. Well, this has been an answer that I've actually said on a previous podcast. Well, we're getting them now. Alan Hafford, definitely not 5. So we have the correct answers up here. And you guys are back on the board. The answer is 4 with Alan Hafford, the only driver to win the Bill Grogan not on the front row. So the years that they won on the front row, 2020 was myself. 2021, believe, was Sivia. Or is that 2022? I'm getting those mixed up, but I know Wilkie was 2023.
Yeah.
And Marshall won it in 2022 because he qualified like crap. But then that night they had the dash, and he just happened to I think, win the heat race or something. And that got him in the dash, and then he won the dash, and then
Made some money that night.
Made a lot of money. That's what we need every weekend, though. All right, Bryce, 5 or 6?
Do 5.
Wow. All right, so Facebook, you're coming with 6 here in a second. Bryce, what is the Wisconsin Wingless Sprint Series track record at Plymouth Dirt Track?
Oh, at Plymouth?
Yeah, I knew just broke it. I know you knew yours, so I was like, I'm not going to do that one. What is the Wisconsin Wingless track record at Plymouth Dirt Track? And because you got it, it's got to be to the nearest 100th. For them, I was going to do nearest 10th. So I'll give it a little bit harder for
I
you.
think it's 13-3-4-2.
That is wrong.
Damn.
Facebook. Yes, Glencoe just broke it. Yes, that's why it's fresh on everyone's mind. I want to hit this. What is the Wisconsin Wingless track record at Plymouth Dirt Track? Highside or Lowside of 13.34?
Yeah.
I should write that down so I don't accidentally say the right one. Or
13-2.
yeah, and because I said nearest 10th. Yes, official 14.2, Alan Hafford 14.3, and yes, so Highside is more. Yes, high, and actually Alan got 14.302. Wow, 14.3. Oh, Jimmy, no. Lower means faster. 13 is quick. Now, unofficially, I think it's 13.87 because it happened in the feature the last night. Track was bad fast. All right. Facebook. What is the most common race number in the 2023 Wisconsin Wingless Sprint Series? Yes, thank you, Matt Roebuck. Unofficial 91 had a 13.8 on the last night in the feature. So
That's booking.
That's booking. What is the most common number in the 2023 Wisconsin Wingless Sprint Series? And I'm thinking the number, not how many of the one number.
Oh.
And it's actually a three-way tie. So all I gotta do is just pick one of them and I'll go with it. So Facebook, what is the most common number in the 2023 Wisconsin Wingless Sprint Series? Boom, boom. Let's go. All right. And of course, I'm using drivers individually, not cars individually. And give it one more second here, because this is intriguing. How should I announce the number? Or the numbers? Oh wow, yep, okay. Alright, yes. So every single person that commented, Alan Hafford, 7, Matt Roebuck, 7, John Curcio, 4, Jeff Curcio, 9, John Curcio, 7, Karen Porter, 7, Jimmy IE, 7. You all picked the 3 numbers that were tied. There are 4 drivers for each of these numbers, 4, 7, and 9. So with your 7s, Facebook +2, yeah, because they got it. So with your 7, it's Ryan Marshall in the X, Trinity UTEC in the 7, Josh Davidson,
I forgot about
D,
Davidson.
Ellie Hensley, L. For the number 4s, we have George Gertner, the 3rd, with the G, Lance Thompson with the L, Jordan Paulson in the 4, and Danny Grimenz in the G. And then again with the 9, Greg Olson in the 9, Tom Brown and Mike Sullivan in the X, and Joe Cravens in the 9. No one said 9. Jeff Curcio said 9.
Yeah.
It's right above you. Or under you.
It's your brother, man.
Yeah. Calling him out like that. So, Facebook started off rough, but makes a comeback to win 4-3 against our guest,
Damn.
Bryce Andrews. How did you like that game?
I like it.
Awesome. All right, well, this has been an absolute blast. I'm kind of digging this more off of the reins of like getting topics in, because like just let the conversation flow. And that kind of started also with Mike New. Like after we ended, I found out he's a drummer, and I was like, I'm a drummer. We could have been talking about that the whole time. Oh, so really like this. Hopefully you guys enjoy this. Please let me know how you enjoyed this show compared to the other shows, because I did kind of like this format. All right, Bryce. Real quickly, not a submitted question, well, per se. From episode 6, I don't know if you know this, but that was Colin Sivia's. And on that episode, he said, what is Bryce doing? Implying the flipping. So just so that you can defend yourself. What were you doing?
Racing.
Racing.
I mean, his dad flipped a lot last year.
Okay. Yeah.
Happens.
I mean,
the team has.
Oh man, that's why. Yeah, I mean, that's why I heard he doesn't have like a steady ride year to year. I heard he's the $5,000 man. $5,000 winning.
Stuff's got him though.
Yeah. Yes, Davey stuff has him. So that's really, I mean, but yeah, to have a $5,000 man 5,000 damage, 5,000 winnings. It's usually more of one than the other, and it's not in a positive way. So thank you for answering that. Ashley Crane, I don't see your answer either. John Curcio, I must have blocked him. Oh, man. Well, like I said, this has been great. Bryce, who would you like to thank?
I got to thank everybody that's part of this whole crazy racing experience with me. But mainly, I got to thank my dad for literally everything. Taking time out of his weekends from working and everything else to come help support me and everything. I got to thank Tony and Carla Pontillo over at Don's. I mean, they do so much for me. It's actually ridiculous. Just for me, like this past weekend, like, hey, I'm going racing in Indiana this month. Can I take off this day, this day, this day, this day? Sure, go have fun racing, which is awesome, and I couldn't ask for a better job and a better sponsor on the car for everything. But I got to thank Roadside Auto, Kenosha Start and Alternator, Kenosha Injection Bar Botox, Mac Custom Coating, Next Gen Pumps, Fex Place, Midwest CBD of Kenosha, Creative Designs Custom Signs, TMMSR, Elite Tool Sales, Bannock Enterprises, Ruffalo's Hair and Spa, Josh Martin Roofing, and Professional Auto Body.
Awesome. Yes. Thank you to all those people that support you, because without any of our partners that we have, we wouldn't be able to do this. So thank you. I would like to thank Kroger Delivery, Next Gen Pumps, The Fat Vero Zone, Rouge Helmets, Bay Nelson Inc., RevTech Manufacturing, Open Fender, Apple Electronics, Ashley Bree Photography, Pit Road Apparel, Jack's Helmet Designs, Carbon Digital LLC, ForeverGuard, Daybreak Church. Special thanks to my beautiful wife Ashley, mom and dad, Al, BD for allowing me to drive the 14 AJ this year. Yeah. Dave Schützen, Maddie Schützen, whoop whoop. Jimmy IE, Brandon, Bestis Manch, Zen, Jack, Jessica, Big One Fan, Nathan, and of course, my youngest brother, Caleb. I almost said Kyle again. Big One Fan Kyle, and then my youngest brother, Caleb. Caleb, your secret word to text me is Bryce B. Flippin'. Let's just use that. Thank you for being a good sport with that, too. Next guest hint is Big Daddy. That is your hint for who our next guest is. And real quickly, I see Jimmy IE Umnus. Don't forget, November 11th, Accelerate Indoor Go-Karting event racing season isn't over yet, guys. Yes, fortunately, I will not. Well, unfortunately, fortunately, I will not be there because Ashley and I are going to be out in Arizona and Utah, living out of the van for 9 days. Which is great. All the hikes! I'm so excited for them. So, I hate flying, but it's worth it. At least that's what I tell myself. But yeah, so November 11th at Accelerate Indoor Racing, Nathan's third annual, I think it is now, Midwest Racers event. Now, I don't want to start anything, but he's stirring the pot. He might be moving it. We're not sure, because there's a banquet now on that date that there's some guys that want to come but can't because of that. So I'm not saying anything yet. It's still November 11th officially, but it might be moving. And if it does move, it'll be at a little later date, and then I can come back. And that'll be great. And I'm looking for that Brady Bacon alphabet soup. That I don't even care if I get knocked out on the sea, man. I'm doing that. If I'm paying $100, I'm gonna get as much racing as I can get in. So that's pretty cool, and it's for money, and a lot of bonuses. So yeah, $100 is a lot, but I mean, you're gonna be getting paid some money, and there's just so much. But as we get a little bit closer here, probably in the next episode or the episode after that, I'll be kind of going into more of the details of what the price payouts are for that. And going from there. But yeah, thank you guys so much for commenting and being a part of our show. We can't wait to see you next Monday, 7 p.m. Central, with our guest, Big Daddy. and we're gonna have a great time. And thank you, Bryce, so much for coming in.
Thank you.
And good luck this weekend
Appreciate it.
and next weekend. Maddie should move it so I can go. Yes, Maddie.
Me too.
Yes, exactly. More people. Awesome. Well, thank you guys. I'm in Derek Crane. Peace out, Girl Scout.